Do you have? Okay, I have the honors of giving you a quick update. It looks like a lot, but we're not going to read through everything. I just want to start out quickly to giving a shout out to Heather Pearson, Tracy Butler, and that's Brianne Ramiza, second grade teacher, primary special ed, and first grade teacher, who attended an all-day conference with me on Saturday, October 1st. I'd never been to a handwriting workshop, and when we decided to implement this program, I saw one online, and I actually connected with the sales rep who's been instrumental in sending samples, and she actually covered the cost for me to attend and said that I could bring 3 teachers because of the amount of money that we spent on materials and just our investment. So I really appreciated that. But I really appreciated them taking a Saturday in the fall of their own time. So I learned a ton. They were extremely helpful, and then they came back and helped turnkey. From here, that was October 1st. We had our first conference day October 7th. So October 6th, I was able to go to the house meetings and really just kind of walk through some of the major logistics. So as you know, there's been a lot of conversation around handwriting. It started probably 2 years ago. Last year, after RJ had his first year here, we decided that it was time to bite the bullet. I really didn't know a lot about different programs. This was something that I would say RJ really recommended, and it had a lot of good reviews. Our occupational therapist, you know, it's definitely a very well-known and credible program. So just quickly, it was created by an OT. The man that spent the day with us in Buffalo is an occupational therapist. My daughter just got her master's, so it was very interesting for me to hear all of the things tied in with occupational therapy. The philosophy on the top sheet that you have, it has the philosophy. I just took some of that stuff. You can take a look at that. You know, that's basically, I'm not going to read that to you, but it's just a quick cheat sheet. And we'll flip that sheet over in just a couple minutes, but it's really talking about explicit multisensory handwriting instruction. So that's where the OT really comes into play with this. And it has been used as an intervention, but it also has been used as a whole school program. The presenter in Buffalo really talked about, we've had ongoing conversations about, is handwriting becoming extinct? Do people need to know that? Something I didn't know is that when people take the bar exam to become a lawyer, they have blue books and they have to do it handwritten. It's not online. A woman actually said in the audience that her sister was unable to pass the bar exam. She took it numerous times because she was she just wasn't a fluid writer. And her handwriting was atrocious, and I don't know if there must be a time requirement, but this woman actually raised her hand. So, you know, that's still a place where handwriting comes into play. It's the primary way that students communicate in school, and actually that's in both of those slides, but down at the bottom, it's the most inconsistently taught. We expect kids to communicate through handwriting, but yet it's probably one of the most inconsistent things taught. And I was looking at some of the other materials, and it was saying how more than a few years ago, colleges stopped. It used to be handwriting was a core when we were younger, and then they stopped training teachers, and they stopped training people to teach it, so it just kind of became whatever, you know, everybody just does what they need to do. So, and students taking notes by hand versus computer are shown to have better comprehension, more sustained attention. I don't know about you guys, but when I was studying college masters, I used to rewrite my notes, make chart paper. So, you know, it was just supporting some research, and that cursive is faster than print. A person's handwriting reflects their effort. I say that to kids when they're taking the New York State exams. I've scored them, and when you see handwriting, unfortunately, it makes a first impression, and it makes you think this child might not know the answer or the content's not going to be of good quality. It's just a fact. That's what we do. We make a quick judgment. It's like when somebody walks into the room. If they're wrinkled and messy and stained, you make a judgment. Same thing with handwriting. I think a lot of us sometimes do that, not intentionally hoping to hurt the child, but you can form some opinions. And that we're just in a society where it's increased pressure to communicate quickly and fluently. these were all things I included in your packet, the 2 handouts in the back. They're the ones for 3 through 5 in primary, so some of these talking points are on that, so you can refer to that. Those PowerPoint or those handouts, it's a lot more specific to the manual, and so some of it won't make sense to you, but I thought you might like to see those points. So what I did is when Tim asked to give just an update and some feedback, I just put together a quick Google form, and I asked the rep Ann, I said, Ann, can you just give me some feedback questions or things that people have used in different schools or programs? So here's just a quick thing. Those are the numbers of the days of the week, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see I asked the teachers, I got 21 responses, and we have 22 teachers using it. How many days a week on average are you using it? This is our first year, so I'm just gonna be upfront. We are not overly consistent yet. It's a pilot year, we're still learning, we're still growing, we're figuring out where handwriting fits in the schedule. We're gonna learn a lot this year, and then conversations will happen next year. So you can see, the largest percentage is around 3 days. How much time on average do you devote to your whole group lesson? A lot of times it starts out whole group, and then they work to independent practice. And again, I knew that some teachers might only be spending 5 to 10 minutes. This doesn't specify the grade levels. I can go in and look at those results. I don't want to put specific grade levels or names on this. I just want to give you a general overview. So that gives you a quick little overview of where we're at. So we're going to be working towards consistency with that. At the primary level, there's a lot of hands-on manipulatives. I could have brought them up here for you, but it would have been a little cumbersome. But there's little chalkboards, there's wooden, little frames that you use to put letters together, there's sponges, there's all these things. This is something that I need to be aware of in order to help support, so we can make sure we have all the manipulatives that are needed. The digital tools have become very hot, and Ann, the sales rep, has given us access to some, and we have some grade levels piloting them. They really like them, so that's something I think if we're going to continue with this program that we need to look at as an investment, because the digital tools will actually show how to form the letters. It talks so the teachers can put it right up on the smart board, and it's not like the kids are all sitting and the teacher's using the whiteboard. It's very explicit, and it's like talking to the children, and they're almost like watching a video. So it's really, we've gotten a lot of positive feedback, and I actually got some free for 3rd grade. Sue's not here, but she really loves it. So we got her a free account for the rest of the year.
Can you equate the digital tools to faster learning or better learning? Or
I think more explicit learning. I think it ensures consistency, so that, because I think our teachers are still learning the correct formations and what to say, and it has a common language. So I do like that, and I think the teachers are like, this first year I feel really good having the digital tools. So I think it probably is a little more explicit and consistent, especially for our first couple of years. Have you seen any improvement or parallels between your students' handwriting and their work in other subject areas? It wasn't anything, it's still new, so we didn't see anything major in that. I just wanted to show you some of the responses, but I bolded. There's 2 lines in your packet. I put samples of the writing paper. So if you can see in the back, just go all the way to the back. She has it. The big thing was the movement to 2 lines. And you can see how it looks, and the kids, that across the board, a lot of people said kids struggled with, because usually they're used to the top line. There's only 2 lines. So in that packet, I've shown you where you can see the larger print, and then you can see for the older kids, the lines get quite small.
Well, usually with the top line with like a dash
Yeah,
line, and the bottom line,
that's not it.
Yes,
I know.
no.
It's kind of different.
different.
It's kind of weird. But they feel very strongly. And some of the teachers said that the kids are responding well, but that's been the biggest adjustment, because they were using all different types of paper, and now we're consistently going to the 2 lines. And I can't remember the research behind why they go to the 2 lines. I'm sure I have it written down. And then one of the other questions is, what have the students said about handwriting? And overall kind of positive, like they like it. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I used to love when we did handwriting. It was like a fun part of the day, Some kids probably don't. But, it's like they haven't said much. They don't mind doing it. So it's like, the teachers didn't get too. riled up about it. So anyway, so I thought that feedback was, which was fine, I wanted the teachers to be honest. And then I asked the question, what are aspects that you like? And, you know, they said it's more manageable, it's nice that it's planned out. I think it was, they like the digital resources at the primary, and then I think, oh, that was the second page. Somebody said that they like that everyone's actually teaching it consistently across grade levels, and there's pacing. So again, you know, it was kind of mixed, but I think it's like anything, people are getting used to it. And then I just wanted to know if they needed any additional training, and a lot of them said more with the online tools, integrating it in the classroom, I think fitting it into the schedule. You know, somebody says it's not high on my priority list, and I get that, that's fine. You know, maybe time to explore. And then there were just some additional comments on, you know, about the digital tools again, about making sure that, you know, that we get the resources that they need. And then basically, these were just things I kind of thought about, that we want to make sure if we're going to order any more additional materials, that we make sure that we have them. You know, we get them over the summer when the teachers are in working, doing their curriculum work. So I think we know now, kind of being into it a year, what they need, like if we do the digital tools. I really like the workshop that we went to, so I'd love to send more people to PD if we can. Exploring the digital tools, making sure, touching base with the teachers, make sure they have the manipulatives. And they do have a baseline assessment in the fall, winter, and spring. We didn't make that mandatory this year. Teachers, a lot of them did it, but next year I think after having a full year, it'll be a little bit easier. And then just fill any gaps where needed for the students. Our fifth graders, we had some that came in that were really proficient in cursive, and I told the teachers, don't make them change it then. You know, they're in fifth grade and they're not, you know, we're not gonna make them change it. So they actually are having them practice using the Zaner Bloser the way they were taught, using that. It's really not fair to the kids to do that at this stage. You know, so some kids were kind of caught in limbo, third, fourth grade, but the fifth graders, I think there were 20 of them that were really proficient. The teachers gave the baseline, so, you know, we're not gonna force those kids to change. And that's it.
Yeah.
Say that again?
Those were Sue Heard's kids.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's,
I
I'm
think,
glad
you
to
know,
hear that.
I will tell you this, and, you know, you talk about anecdotal, but Kelly and I saw each other, and I said, the interesting thing is I was in two classrooms today, two different grade levels, and, they were both grade levels were working on handwriting.
Yeah.
And I can't ever remember that happening before. You know, where I would walk into a classroom and, you know, at two different grade levels and both, you know, both groups were working on handwriting. And again, it wasn't 45 minutes. It was, you know, they were doing some skills and then they were moving on to their next thing. But I thought, this is.
So feel free to let me know if you have questions offline or whatever, and we'll keep you posted on that. And, you know, if you don't want to take the handouts, just leave them and I'll take them. Those were actually extras from October 7th, so I didn't waste paper. I pulled them out of the box and I had extra copies, so.
Thanks, Kelly.
Yep.